We are back, finally! Back here on the For Against podcast here on Nick Hall Comedy. I'm Nick Hall. Who are you?
Josh Griffey.
Well, it's been a fun month for me, I gotta tell you.
Never a dull moment with us.
So I'll address the hiatus. I had myself a little accident, and I broke a rib.
Mm-hmm.
Severely injured my shoulder and my wrist. Been a lot of fun. It's not so much that I couldn't have talked through a podcast, but there was a 2-week period where if I laughed, I thought I was like, I'd just rather be dead.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't cough, I couldn't sneeze, I couldn't laugh. I made the mistake of watching that. It was day 4 or whatever of my broken rib, and I watched that Eric Andre movie.
Oh my God, dude! Terrible idea.
It was hilarious.
Great movie.
But that opening scene, I was laughing. I was like, God damn it! Comedy is pain. You know?
Pain plus time equals comedy.
So that's where I've been. My wrist is still pretty pretty fucked up. And so we had this golden plan to have new Kent Murphys out, and obviously I can't swing a bat or throw a ball right now. So, good timing for that. Good, it couldn't have happened in November.
Yeah.
When nothing was going on,
I mean, our road has always been a golden one for sure.
Just paved in bad timing and bullshit.
But that's all right. We are filming tomorrow.
We are.
As long as everything holds.
Yep.
So, we will be back with new Kent Murphy soon.
Content. Yes. Yes. So my apologies. I'm not really that sorry. That the universe needs to apologize to me as far as I'm concerned. That was, dude, I've broken damn near every bone you can break in your body. I even broke a femur when I was a kid.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and boy, I don't wish a broken rib on anybody. That shit is the worst.
Yeah.
It is the worst thing.
Well, it's trunk, right?
Yeah.
If it's a limb, you can learn to get around it.
And there's because there's nothing they can do for it. They're just there's some pain meds, and oh yeah, by the way, you got to sleep sitting up.
Yeah.
So you're gonna be you're gonna hurt and be uncomfortable for for the foreseeable future.
Fuck that.
I just started sleeping in my bed 3 days ago.
Game changer though,
where
right?
I could lay down and then get up from a lay down position.
Yeah. Well, no, because a couple years ago, I was at a gaming tournament in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Got so drunk I couldn't remember the punch code key for Airbnb.
Sure.
And I was like, clearly I can jump this 6-foot fence. And I was like, well, probably. But I asked my buddy, I was like, just in case. And I told him to hold still. He thought I needed a push.
Sure.
I came down and my ass crack, right perfectly on the crack, landed on a terracotta pot.
Yeah.
And it fucking broke my tailbone.
Yep.
And then I had to drive 6 hours home on the bumpy roads.
Yeah, dude.
I've never had an injury because that's what I mean. Ribs and tailbone and shit, you can't do anything that doesn't stem from that area.
Nothing.
There's no way to avoid it.
Yeah.
Because the worst was I was like, all right, I broke my tailbone. I'm like, I'll just kind of be stationary and sit. The first time I had to take a shit, though, I was like, kill me.
Oh, dude.
Because things start opening and moving, and there's muscles you didn't know you had down there to facilitate.
Yeah.
That are now pressing on a broken bone.
So I swear to God, not to talk about bowel movements the whole show.
I think we've been pretty poop free for a while.
But for the first 2.5, almost 3 days of the injury, I just didn't poop. I was just holding it in because I was too. No, dude, I was
You're
too.
Gonna get another injury.
I was too afraid of the pain.
Yeah.
That I knew was gonna be there, and then I was because it's my left shoulder and my right wrist.
Oh man.
So my right wrist is just fucked, and at that time, my shoulder's a lot better now.
Oh, no.
But I couldn't even raise my arm up, right?
Yeah.
So I was so even if I get this out, I don't know if I can wipe my butt.
You're wiping wrist.
You know what I mean? So
When's the last time you wiped with the opposite wrist? I mean,
before
without
this
an injury though, right? That's what I mean. It's hard.
Maybe never. I don't know.
I don't think I've ever done it.
Yeah, I mean, well, when I was younger, I did because I had a cast on my right arm for 3 months when I was in high school. So that was probably the last time.
That's not a transferable skill. That's a hard thing.
I'm telling you, man. Yeah. So what I did was I went in there and I just turned the shower on because that was going to be my backup if I couldn't get wiped. I was just going to get in the shower and let it run.
Like a bidet.
Spread my butt.
It's exactly a bidet. I've been trying to transfer you for a while.
I honestly, that was my thought. I was like, I should have taken Griffey up on that, go get a bidet recommendation that you gave me.
I mean, I'll hook you up after the show. I've got contacts.
I suppose that's going to be my next purchase. Yeah. Yeah. So we're back. Yeah, we'll be back, with regular pods and, pray to God I don't fall anymore,
We're going to wrap Nick in a bubble.
Yeah.
We'll get you one of those helmet, Velcro shoes, all the safety stuff.
Yeah, we'll have some new content out soon. And baseball's back, yeah.
Baseball's back.
Loving it. My Reds actually don't suck so bad,
Looks like the Brewers could be off to a rough season, but there are always flashes. I'm just excited because, I get my next vaccine by the end of the month.
Yeah.
And I was already, planning. I think we were talking about maybe doing, a week just driving the little loop, the Midwest loop, and hitting some stadiums. So just the thought of being back in a stadium is just remarkable.
Yeah, I'm going next month. I'm really pumped.
Up to Detroit?
Yeah, I'm going to one game.
Yeah, there you go, man.
But I'm really pumped.
Yeah.
Really pumped, yeah. All right, let's get into it. For or against time.
I'm ready.
I think that's our new...
For against. All
right, I'm going... I know you're doing a Beth one, but I'm going to do a Beth... Life on Beth Row.
Life on Beth Row. Oh, man. We are the programmer of our show now.
For or against early risers. The early bird gets the worm. You're kind of an early riser.
See, this is the trick, though. I'm forced to do it. So I have to get up to get my kid on the school bus.
Right, yeah, you have things.
And I hate it. Because I am the tale of two lives, right? Where if I don't have to, 2 of the days, I don't have to get up.
Yeah.
My natural clock is 9 a.m. And then it takes me another 2 hours to be fully awake. So I'll putt around and have coffee and read or do stuff. But I hate life in that 2 hours.
Yeah.
Right? When I set my alarm clock for pre-7 a.m., if a truck bust through the wall of my house and took me out, I'd be this much grateful for it. That's how mad I am. When I am up and there's no sunlight and I just wake up to an alarm clock period, I cannot stand life.
Yeah.
And it never fails because as I'm sitting there fucking shuffling around in the dark, I'll see some fucking chubby idiot jogging. And it makes me furious.
Yeah.
Furious.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I think it's an aspirational. I wish I could be that way, but I hate it.
Yeah,
I hate it.
I'm against it. I'm not against early risers. Yeah. I'm against early rising.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Listen, even when I was in high school, man, I would be up until 3 or 4 in the morning.
Right.
And I'd get up, in high school, because you had to. I'd get up at 7 a.m. and go to school or whatever.
Right.
And then when I got to college and they let you you plan your own classes, it's nothing before 2 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I stopped going to those,
Yeah.
So I was like, well.
It was the great revelation of college is wait, I can just not do this.
There's all these beautiful women walking around and booze and parties. And I was like, why would I go to class? You know?
No,
I'm not recommending this.
For me
Very
today.
bad idea.
I don't think so.
Well, monetarily, it was a poor choice at the time. I've rebounded since and, done okay for myself. But, yeah. When you get done, you don't think about it until you get done, and then you get this bill, and you're like, shit. Yeah. That's why I was supposed to go to class. I forgot.
We just got to keep kicking that can down the road until old Elizabeth Warren saves our asses. No, actually, I paid off finally.
Yeah.
It took me forever. I'm finally paid off, though.
Yeah, me too.
So now I'm all right, it was fine. It was worth it.
So even now, and it's progressively got, now I don't go to bed before 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And that's when I do my best. Okay, so if I wake up today, right, and it's sunny, not a chance I'm sitting in front of a computer and writing. I'll tell myself I'm going to.
Yep.
But about midnight hits and the rest of the world's asleep, I'm like, okay, my FOMO has disappeared. Nothing else can take me right now. So now, all right. So between midnight and 5 is when I get all my work done.
Yeah.
And that's when I do my best work.
And that's cool, man.
Yeah.
My problem is I've hit this weird, because I have all these things that I need to do in the morning. And then, like you said, in the middle of the day, it's I want to walk my dog. I want to be out. I want to do shit. And then I have kids, right? And they go to bed at 8. But their problem hits now is you're I just want to watch 3 movies and not work.
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing. What I hate is early riser porn, is I'll call it, right? The Rock, Mark Wahlberg. I read a thing where Mark Wahlberg's I get up at 2:30 in the morning. And I'm like
what time do you go
what
to
the fuck
bed?
does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was so you're in bed at 6 p.m. So am I a grinder because I've got 6 extra hours of work before you roll out of bed.
Yeah.
But he's just like, I get up at 2:30. I kill it every day. Like, I saw this video once. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Of course, it was Steve Harvey, right?
Yeah.
He's like the master of like stupid person logic. He's like a Stephen A. Smith, right? Where it's like they say these grandiose things.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Scarborough's one of these where you just hear these guys say these things.
What did
like,
Steve Harvey say?
well, so Steve Harvey's
love
like,
Steve Harvey.
he's like, you know when I get up every day? 4 a.m. And he's like, you're telling me that Wall Street opens at 6 and you're going to let those people run your life for 3 hours while you're in bed? And I was like, that's not how Wall Street works, Steve. Like, what? What?
Yeah, that's
like,
weird.
And I was like, all right. So I'm telling, because you wake up, you're like, call New York. You're like, hey, you can open the stock. Ring the bell. Steve Harvey's having coffee.
Crash Microsoft. Nick's still asleep.
Yeah,
Crash it.
it's just like,
Fuck that guy.
What?
Oh, damn, he's awake. He's buying shit.
And it's insane to me because they don't put any merit on. All right, so while they're all enjoying their slumbers, right? Mm-hmm. You're up grinding.
Yeah.
You're up kicking ass.
Yeah.
Why don't they put any credit on that? Because if you're a night owl, everyone gives you shit.
Yeah, I
right?
know.
Like you're some kind of like degenerate slacker. You're not with the system, right? But if he gets up at 4 a.m. and he goes to bed at 8, everyone's like, look at that guy killing it. And I think that shit is the worst. I think it's stupid.
I agree.
Follow your natural clock, man.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the thing that really makes me angry about my lifestyle, well, nothing that I do, obviously. But like my mom knows this about me, and then she's still like, hey, do you want to get together at like 9 a.m. on a Saturday? And I'm like, no.
Yep, zero.
Sure don't, Mom. Well, let's have dinner instead. How about dinner instead of brunch, you know? She knows full well.
Yeah,
but I do have like the days though where like, 8 p.m. rolls around. I just had like a long day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to bed. I've had enough today. And then I wake up at like 5, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with myself. But it feels good sometimes. I'm like, I'll be up at like 6 a.m. and I'm like, and I start doing stuff. But I've already had like 10 hours of sleep at this point. You know what I mean?
I feel the opposite though. Because I wake up at 6 a.m. and it's like, it is the difference, right? When I'm up in the middle of the night, I'm like, there's other cool people doing cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, this is when, like, sex ragers are happening.
I know.
This is when drugs and drinking
That's why I'm up till 5,
Yeah.
just in case.
This is when someone's watching, like, their 6th episode of, like, Gacy.
Nobody has ever sent me a you up text, and I wasn't up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're like, psh, bitch, please. That's how you reply every time. Yeah, bitch, please. Never slept.
Never lost.
When I'm up at 6 a.m., though, I'm like, only losers are up this early. Only people who are like, I want to jog and go into the office and rub this into people's faces.
All the winners are actually up then.
I mean, that's what they think. Maybe I'm just like the tortoise in this race. Maybe my night owl shit's going to hit later.
Maybe.
Because this is what I mean. I think it's also because I'm fat. People just assume like night owl fat. Like they think they've got me pegged. If I was jacked like The Rock and I was like, well, when I do my best weightlifting, 2 a.m. without sleep, they'd be like, oh, fuck. Right? But it's like, there aren't a lot of ripped night owls, I feel like. So maybe there's something to it.
I watched this documentary the other day, and it was like some comedians, but it was a podcast. And Jim Brewer was talking about, I think it was Jim Brewer. He had he shared a writer's room with Dave Attell when Dave Attell wrote for SNL. And he was like, dude, we never did anything. He goes, we had an office, and him and I would just go there and just like see how drunk we could get that day. And like he goes, we never wrote anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, and look at them. They're killing it. And he goes,
They're killing it.
He's like, and then at night, like we would do stuff. He's like, but during like our office hours, like neither of us wanted to do anything.
Yeah. Well, I know we've done that too. It's like we're meeting at 10 a.m. and we're going to write for 6 hours. And then you're like,
yeah.
Like I think sometimes you just can't force shit in life.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? And I think the early rising thing is only so that they can wake up, post that sunset on Instagram, and be like, look what I did that you can't do, you fucks.
So I'm not against the person. I'm against the concept.
See, I'm
against the concept.
I'm so against the person. I'm so against the person because, again, the root of it is this fucking vile behavior.
Most of my good friends are fucking early risers. So, yeah, fuck them.
If you
fuck
those people. if your like body's telling you to get up, and that's fine. The moment you use it as like, if you've ever posted the hashtag rise and grind, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like you're part of the problem.
Yeah.
If you just like wake up early, great, man. If you just wake up early and you're like I read that thing, Bong Joon-ho, the guy who did Parasite, his schedule is he wakes up every day at 5 a.m. to watch movies.
Hell yeah.
And I was like, great, man. That's great. He's not rubbing it in your face. Like, I'm up.
So he's just like shifting from the bed to the couch.
Yeah.
Not changing out of the sweats and just like click.
He's just like, that's my time when the world's shut off.
I can get behind that.
Great.
I can get behind that.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're like, I'm up kicking ass while you're asleep. Because this thing, none of this time shit matters. This is all just fucking
But then I'm
made-up
kicking ass
stupid
while
stuff.
you're asleep because
Exactly.
I'm at 3 a.m. while you're fucking.
And which day is the day, right?
I'm over here writing Kent Murphy pages.
Yeah. So if the day starts at 12:01 a.m., you technically have been kicking hours for hours before they even wake up.
Kicking ass
the
that
first
day.
through the fucking door. That's what I'm saying. We look at this the wrong way.
Yeah, I agree.
Fuck those early risers.
All right, what you got?
All right. Also, we'll stick with life on Beth Row. I feel like this one was very pointed. For or against ghosting. I already know your answer.
Golden 4. I am so good at it too.
The Nick Hall Ghost Protocol edition.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I want to be 4.
Yeah.
On a philosophical level, I'm 4.
Yeah.
I also am incapable of ghosting. I am so incapable of it.
It's the best.
But yes, now I agree with you. Like in my mind space, I was like, because this thing, when you know it's done, it's done. Why? Also, the act of ghosting is somewhat the message anyways, right?
I have right
You don't
now,
have to write. Oh, no, here we go.
I have 81 unread text messages.
How do you live like that? Cloud sent me his inbox. Sorry to out you, Cloud. He has fucking 12,000 unread emails.
Oh, wait.
And he's like, well, I can't filter out all the ads. And I was like, do you not know what a junk folder is?
I have 178,412 unread emails. Right there.
Wait, is that a real thing?
Yeah, right there.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Dude, just delete your account.
No.
Delete your account and reset.
I want that. I'm trying to.
How do you get emails?
I mean, I read some emails. I just like the ones that I don't like. I see the headline. I'm like not reading that.
How many fucking emails do you get?
A lot.
Do you not junk filter?
No.
Are you fucking kidding me? You have 100,000 emails?
178,000, or whatever that number was. Yeah. Yeah.
This is the most startling revelation.
But here's how good.
I thought Cloud was bad. That is fucking insanity.
I'm fine with it, man.
That red number doesn't bother you at all.
Not at all. It's
Really?
a badge of honor for me.
I have like 32, and it's because I send myself workout emails that I'll never read.
Yeah.
But I'm like, someday I'll be wanting to work out, and I'll open this email from myself. So I have like 32. All of them are from me.
Yeah.
I don't have any uncleared anythings.
Good for you.
You just ghosted your email responsibilities.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I reply to like people that email me. If it's people.
But how did they not get lost in the deluge of nonsense in there?
That's easy. I've got a system.
Master.
I've got a system. Yeah.
I thought we were about to talk about ghosting people.
Yeah, anyway,
But Jesus Christ. If I were you, I would literally go to like a hacker and be like, erase me from the world, and I will restart from digital square one.
Here's how extreme my ghosting is. All right?
Yeah.
So this is just like recently, like the other day. So there's this bar by my house that it's like walking distance. So every now and then I pop in there. There's this girl that bartends there. And she's like, I've kind of had a crush on her for a while. And her and I, we talk a bunch and all this. The other day I was in there. She gives me my tab and she had written her phone number on it. Like, okay, shit. Like, most people are like, fuck yeah, like the girl that I like, give me her phone, I didn't ask for it.
Right.
She was just like, we had a good conversation that night, and she was like, I wouldn't mind booning this guy. You know what I mean?
That was the
booning. Yeah, she's from the Poconos. So I get the number, I go home, and I send her a text.
Okay.
And I just say, hey, it's Nick, so you have my number too. Right? Just simple, nice. And then she texts me back like, yeah, let's hang out sometime. I haven't texted her back.
Now, is this part of a
I don't know,
play?
because I think I just like, I think I already feel like I won the game.
Wow.
I don't know what the game is.
You already done mind fucked yourself?
Yeah, but I've been trying to
wow.
I've been trying to get this girl's number for a while, and then she gave it, so then I win.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, what? And then I start thinking. Well, then I start thinking, what am I gonna offer? You know what I mean? What is she gonna?
This dick. No, that's what I mean. Like I was talking to my wife about
I'll probably
this the
call
other
her,
day.
but as of right now, it's a 3-day ghost.
You won't.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
I
kidding.
probably won't.
You won't.
Yeah.
But no, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, we were watching Hellraiser. And I was like, sex is never as cool as this movie.
No.
She's like, what? And I was like, dude, they like, their skins combine and they morph and hooks and needles. It's all cool, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, even the best sex anyone's ever had, right? We make it very cinematic, but at the end of the day, it's just two sweaty people. And then it's over and you're like, roll
Sound
over.
like MacGruber.
Yeah. And it's like you roll over and you put your glasses back on. You're like, I wonder what's trending. And you're like, it's not like as cool as it should be. Right? And so I was like, there is something to this. Like, I don't know. I feel like I've gotten to the point where, like, unless it's going to be, like, Hellraiser sex, you're like, if you were to get, like, out in the world, right? Mm-hmm. Me and my wife run this fantasy. Mostly I'm like, well, when you divorce me and I'm back out in nature, I was like, yeah, I think for me that's the thing, right? The whole thrill of it is you just want to know that someone is willing to go back to your house.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
And fuck you, right? They're like, this guy could even be a serial killer.
Yeah, but then
then
you start thinking, you're like, well, then, like, after the 3 minutes of sex, then I gotta like maybe entertain her for like 2 hours.
Yikes!
And like you're like, I was gonna at that point I was gonna watch a movie I'd planned. Now I'm not gonna do that because then if I put it on with her, then she's like, maybe she's one of those people that does, that starts asking questions and ruins my movie watching experience, which way too selfish for that. And you start playing all these scenarios out in your head, and you're like, you know what? I won the game. I'm not texting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's a weird thing, man. Like, I kind of get what you're saying. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
Where it's, there's this old movie that almost no one's seen that I love, right? Called The Tao of Steve.
Sure.
And the whole movie, it's like this weird indie 90s thing where all it is this guy is like a big fat slob.
Yeah.
And he just reads philosophy books.
Sure.
And he has this, like, absolute philosophy on how to, like, bag women. Right?
Yeah.
This is his thing, right? He can get women to sleep with him even though he's like a fat loser. And so over poker, he's explaining it to his friends.
Non-fiction?
No. I saw it and I was like, finally. The dark secret's unfurled. But he just tells him, right? He's like, that's the whole thing is this thrill of the hunt thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can only, because I always like, you think you're like, oh, we're going to fuck. I'm going to slam my dick way up into her lungs and like, it'll be like a Fast and the Furious trailer. And really, it's just fast, and then you're furious, and you're like, it's just not as cool. But yeah, as soon as someone says they will fuck you, I feel like you're 95%
it's like
to the total value.
Yeah, it's like the Joker thing. He's like, I'm a dog chasing cars, I don't know what I'd do if I caught one. I just want to catch one. Yeah.
The thrill is there. Once they said they would fuck you, you're like, that's it. Because that's like, how many times also have you had the one-night stand, and you're like, yikes, not great. Right? How many one-night stands, if you had to do like an average out of 10, would you say end in just this, oh my God, that's like deathbed sex? Like, I'll look back and be like, I'm so glad that happened.
Nearly all of them.
What? I thought that when you did the comedic beat, I knew a bit was coming. I thought it was the exact opposite. Explain.
It's just, that's why it's a one-night stand. It's not, it's not meant to be great, Plus, it's like that thing too. Like I think it was Theo Von that did the bit, and he's like, I haven't had sober sex since I was like 18.
Yeah,
he's like, because it's just not cool to have sober sex
anymore. No, well, it was weird. I remember that because I've recently stopped drinking.
Yeah.
So like I took like a break. Cause I woke up one night. I had like a Zoom. I had 3 bottles of wine, and I woke up like crying on the kitchen floor, and I was like, holy shit, what happened? Right? And I was like, I gotta pause. Like, I can't keep going to bed crying every night. Like, something's going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was for a long time. And Amy's like, go to the fucking guest room. All right, I'm sorry. So anyway, I was like, I'm gonna take some time off. And you're like, everything is weird. Like, sober sex is way weirder because you hear it it's almost like that thing where like they say like if you hold a conch to your ear you can hear the sea. It's like that. We're like, oh man, I know there's like more emotional stuff going on that you're trying. So you'll do like more hair twirls, or you'll throw in like extra flourishes that you think are gonna like add to that. Whereas when you're drunk, it's just right? It's like Little Red Riding Hood. You're like, I'm just gonna eat that kid, right? And the other way, you're like, oh, I'm gonna put on grandma's clothes and do a little show with it. Like that's sober sex. It's very weird. If that analogy made any
You,
fucking sense.
you're having sex at like the Bates Motel?
I mean,
putting on
dude,
grandma's clothes? Like,
I wish.
yeah.
I wish.
Yeah,
But
I
see,
know you do.
that'd be one of those like that's memorable.
Yeah.
That's fucking memorable.
Memorable.
If I came in like this giant man body in Amy's dress, I was like, let's rage. We just scissored all night. She would probably ghost me, and that's the point.
Yeah.
It'd be well worth it.
Yeah.
No, if you ghost, you're letting someone know in a more eloquent way. Do you think it's worse to just do the like, I'm going to do the fake, oh, well, I really like you, but.
Well, here's the thing. That's the thing with ghosting, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't really like ever ghost anybody that you've had a long-term relationship, whether it's like a romantic or a friendship or anything like that, right? It's always like right after you meet somebody. And then you go home and you weigh it out in your head and you're like, hey, you know what? I don't actually want to I don't have any more room for that person in my life.
Yeah.
I got, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And so, yeah, you can either send them the John Deere letter where, the old Dear John. Yeah.
I was thinking of John Deere.
Well, it's Dumb and Dumber.
Well,
It's
sometimes
John
you
Deere.
find a rooted field.
Yeah. And it's not you, it's me, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or you can just shut the fuck up, and then they start.
Yeah.
Then they have like a mental breakdown of their own, and they're like, well, was I not good enough?
Yeah.
And then,
And you just let them know, yes, you were.
Yeah, well, without saying anything. And then that way,
Yeah.
you've broken them enough. 6 months later, when you're real desperate, you can be like, well, let me see.
Oh, I have 100,000 emails I haven't read.
Let me
It got
try to
lost in the
unghost
shuffle.
this one, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Hey. But also,
No, I'm kidding.
It's
That's
nice
not-
to ghost because then you're
You sound
letting
like
them
fucking
know.
Dennis from Always Sunny, just a psychopath. But
No, but if you ghost them, you're giving them carte blanche to blame it all on you. So it's actually a nice
100%.
thing too.
Yeah.
I think this is a Midwestern thing too, because it's Midwestern politeness gone awry. Because this
You
has
think?
happened so many times where, like when I was in LA, this was not really a problem we dealt with, right? There are a lot of people who are like there to network and all
Interesting.
this kind of shit.
Oh,
but like,
yeah.
it always feels
Everybody's got a
false, the
script to
bond,
sell,
right?
yeah.
It always feels like a business deal.
Sure.
So it's easier to just break those out. In Indiana, I think there is this politeness run amok.
Sure.
Where we all try so hard to at least do the basics of politeness.
Yep.
But sometimes, you meet someone and you're like, what? You like are acting like you're really interested in what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, well, of course we got to take this to the next step because I don't want to be rude. And next thing you know, you've hung out 3 or 4 times because you're in the same friend group and you're like, ooh, this is like going to be a thing. Got to ghost.
Yeah.
Got to get
agree.
out, man.
I
I'm all
agree.
for getting out.
Yeah. I agree. Oh, yeah, but golden for
Yeah,
ghosting.
the most for.
Very much for it. I forgot the kid's name. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
There's Corey Rich on
Okay.
on YouTube. For against Little League super teams.
Oh, man.
I didn't even know this was a thing, but now I guess there's a bunch of LeBrons fucking running around Little League.
Yeah. Well, no, this was a big deal when my younger brother was like really good, right?
Yeah.
So his team they made it to like one step before the Little League World Series.
Right.
So my brother was really fucking good at Little League. And I remember because it was the exact summer they came out with big barrel bats.
Yeah.
Do you remember those fucking
Cranking.
things?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Could launch. So he would hit like every fucking swing was a home run that year. Crushing them. But I remember my dad would get ready, right? He'd come home from the factory and he would sit with fucking research to fucking pick his team of 10-year-old kids.
What?
Because they did a draft. It wasn't a randomly assigned team.
Yeah.
The dads would get in this little like fucking pole barn, where they keep the tractors and the chalk and bases, and they would fucking draft these 10-year-old teams.
What?
And so he's like, oh man, with Skylar as my anchor, he's like, I'm going to get this little kid. He's a little fast guy. And he would like for real draft these teams.
Yeah.
And because
I
my
think when
dad
I
was
was in Little League,
hardcore,
they just like randomly put you on teams.
you'd think, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think.
hey,
I don't know. I don't remember, but
it seems right.
Yeah.
Like just multiply them out and let the cards fall where they may. Well, we would draft. So my dad, our team was really good and won the championship because my dad was like a fucking psychopath
Yeah.
drafting the teams. If I'm honest, I'm 100% for the Little League super team. Let the good teams just fucking feast on the scrubs so they know they don't like it and they go to they quit and they're just like, I'll pick up again in like college and like a beer league. Yeah, let them fucking eat the week. I'm for that.
And I think there should be a salary cap in Little League.
Why? They don't have it in college. Why do we need it?
I'm against super teams at any level.
Why?
Because it's not any fun. It's fucking annoying.
This will be the NBA,
Like the NBA,
year for sure.
like
yeah.
how much fun is it to just like now for the next like 4 or 5 years we just have to watch the Lakers in the finals, Lakers and Nets in the finals every year.
Yeah. Well,
It's not
if
any
the
fun.
Lakers hold up, yes.
There's no mystery. There's no fucking like. There's no point in being a fan of the other 30 teams.
Yeah. Well, the Nets one is exceptionally annoying because they're all guys that just are like, defense, whatever.
I mean, that's why I kind of
But
like
their team is better than just
That's why
those three.
I kind of
though. They're
like the
also
Warriors
stacked.
pre Kevin Durant because they were
Number
for
one
the most
defense,
part
yeah.
put together, homegrown.
Yeah.
Not all the way, but
and
they dominated.
I don't know. I think because this is the thing. I don't think there's one super team. I think there's usually a couple.
Right.
So and that's the thing. It's
That's why I
Godzilla
like the
versus
NFL.
Kong. As least like Godzilla and Kong wouldn't be better if you're like and Anguirus.
Yeah.
And fucking Gigan from the 70s. Like you don't need the other 30 monsters. I need the 2 supreme monsters.
But that's why I like the NFL and even the MLB for the most part. Because like in the NFL, like my Colts actually have a chance to win the championship every year. I mean, like, but I'm just saying, like any team does.
they
like,
play.
Like the Browns have a chance to win it if they, if they're good.
Well, the single elimination
what I
is a
mean?
big difference.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you do a 7-game series, the best team almost always wins.
Yeah.
It's hard to be the worst team and win 4 games.
Yeah.
Right? You can have a great Sunday and beat a far superior team.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that. But yeah, I mean.
But that's fun. Like, that's way more fun.
I don't know. There have always been scrubs in every league.
I agree.
So, like, why does it matter? The baseball always had the Yankees or someone who's trying to buy
but
it
they
out.
don't win every year.
You have your Tampa Bay Rays who are like the little organization that could.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm
you
fine
got the
with super
Astros
teams.
cheating to win
Just
one. Like,
cheating
that's
to win
fun.
it.
You know
They're
what I
a
mean?
new monster.
You never know. You just never know.
But why not super teams?
Like the Diamondbacks went and
Why not super teams?
Because it's annoying.
But why?
Because then then there's only like 1 or 2 markets in the entire league that have a chance to win.
But you know what the thing is? I bet they'll do better because they're going to bring so much more revenue when they come to every town.
Now, if I were
Be
playing, I
excited.
want to be on the super team.
Oh, for sure.
Well, but I'm one of the superstars. They'd be like, well, we need Nick and LeBron
yeah.
and Kevin Durant. And I'd be like, okay.
Clearly.
And then I'd be like, Kyrie.
Obviously.
Kyrie, sorry to bump you.
Yeah.
You're out.
Sorry, go jump off the flat earth. You're out of here.
You're out.
Yeah. No. I just think it's cool because for me, it's like I want to see what's the best version of this thing look like. I'm always like that. So if I could see, like, had LeBron lost to that Warriors team and he had gone there instead of Durant, I would have loved to have seen that.
Think so?
Yeah, I want to see, like, what's the
Yeah, but you're
best
also
this thing
like
could ever look
you're
like.
a fluid fan too.
Oh, I am a fluid fan.
Yeah, you're one of those butt wipes.
I have, like, a couple teams I root for, but even then, I'm never as diehard with any one team as possible.
I'm diehard. I have one team in every league.
There's nothing worth dying hard for.
For me, there is.
No, I'm out.
Nakatomi Plaza, first of all.
I'm not going to be like you in a tank top with bloody feet running around swinging off fire hoses.
I'll do it.
I'd just be like, this Christmas party's not my jam. Goes to the next one.
I'll be like, are those terrorists? Yeah, I'm leaving.
Oh, poor taste.
I'm already in the vents. Like, I'm not saving the. I'm just going to get out.
When this Rush song is over, I'm out of here. That would be me for sure. No, fuck that. Like, IU sucked this year. I just said, fuck IU, I'm out. Like, I walked out on them, and I was fine with that.
You're a dick.
Why?
I would have too. They were awful.
They're so bad for so long. It doesn't matter. And this thing, I just want to see what's the best of anything. But let's bring this to Little League specifically, right? Because the theory of Little League is this is where the kids learn to be blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Well, here, if you're really about your kid learning a lesson, like life lessons, right? Teamwork, cooperation, sportsmanship.
Teach them how to lose.
Then the best thing that can happen is if your kid's a loser, they get fucking pummeled.
Because when you become an adult, you're taking L's all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. There aren't a lot of like, I'm just going to be like the pussiest little leaguer. And then all of a sudden, like, at 12, I'm like, yeah! Like, get them used to it.
It's like me. Like, it's like us. Like, we're 2 weeks before baseball season. About to, in my head, like, we're just about to have all these W's, but no broken rib, L.
Yeah, and you know what happened? Because we've been exclusively losing for years, we just rolled right through it.
It's just like,
because we're trained to accept L's.
Just laying on the couch eating fucking liquid lunch, being like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah, so let's say that one team's got all the fucking fat Jimmies, right?
Yeah.
The big fat kids that are crushing dingers. They're all a foot taller. All right, well, you're on the loser team. You know what else that encourages? outsmarting the system,
Well,
revolutionizing the game.
And see, I'm kind of more for it in Little League, too, though.
Yeah.
Because you build the super team, right? And then you have all these other kids that are really only there because, like, their dad sucked when he was a kid. And so now he's, like, trying to vicariously live through his son.
Yeah.
And being like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then, like, you just go beat those kids down a bunch. Like, they're 0-25. And then they quit.
Yeah.
And then they're out of baseball. And then they go find something that they actually love and that they're actually good at.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's exactly the right point.
Yeah.
Because this is what, and this is the other thing. Let's say you're on the good team, right? Or you're like the best kid and you get stuck with like a bunch of scrubs. You're the best kid, they put you at shortstop. And all of a sudden you have little Tommy Dicklick from Greenwood, right? Tommy Dicklick Jr.
Right.
Who can't catch the ball at second, can't try to turn a double play. Your first baseman can't catch. Your pitcher can't pitch. So what are you really learning? Nothing.
Yeah.
And your skills are just corrupting.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to figure out
You're
how
learning
to do
how
it.
to be forced into doing something.
Yeah. But if you're
by
on
an
the team
authority
with the
figure.
other good kids, you can actually practice being better at baseball.
You're just teaching your kid how to, like,
Yeah.
you know, bow down to fascism. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Commissar Bernie. Never turn two with this
Thanks,
shit.
Commissar Dad.
Yeah. I'm glad everyone gets to play and not turn two.
You're playing baseball, kid.
That's cool. I'll have a bunch of solo home runs.
Here's your ration for the day.
Yeah, no, I think that we have a... It's weird because I feel like we're going in two directions, right? Where everyone's like, my freedom, my life. But then there's also this, like, we can't do that with anyone.
Yeah.
So there's a weird problem here.
Yeah.
And especially in sports, I think it's really important for kids to remember there are things that you lose at.
100%.
Right? Not everyone is a winner in everything. There are some things you do where you will lose and be a less than, right? And that's not how it should be across the board. But if you step onto a field and play baseball, there are people that are winners and people who are losers.
Yeah.
And both are equally valuable lessons, man. So
agree.
I think that's okay. I'm for super teams across
I
the
don't
board.
want your life.
Yeah.
Dad. From Varsity Blues'em. Varsity Blues'em. Yeah, so I'm against
You're not.
I'm for Little League super teams against adult.
You don't want to be against.
I'm against pro super teams.
But see, the same thing plays, man. If you are, because what the super team and the pros is you have a terrible GM. That's your fault.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But you're not gonna get you're not gonna form a super team and then TJ Leaf's just gonna quit. I wish that would have happened for my Pacers, but yeah.
I don't know. I'm pro super team.
All right, what do you got?
All right, so this comes from Joe Gould. For against faking being sick to skip school.
4.
Yeah. Well, I was like, we already kind of covered this a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I am. Here's the thing I will say though, I'm against faking sick. I think you should just be able to say fuck this. Have like an X amount of days.
Well,
right?
yeah, and see,
I think school kids should have built in I need a fucking day off day.
Yeah.
Right?
Personal days and shit.
Yeah, every school kid. It's crazy that we have jobs, and every grown up has had to use sick time to call in and be like, I can't today. It's my job.
Yeah.
Why do kids who go to school 5 days a week not also have those?
Yeah.
Just be like, you know what? Today blows. I got a bunch of fucking homework and a project.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it today.
Well,
I'm going to stay home and catch up.
The value of hard work, Josh.
I'm not.
Sometimes you got to take a bite of the shit sandwich even when you're not hungry. You know what I mean?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that. Because I'm not one of these, we need to be cogs in a machine.
Because you're not a rise and grind type like me.
Most definitely I am not. I'm not a diehard
rise and grind,
loyal
Josh.
rise and grinder. No. I think I'm really laying out my personal philosophy in this podcast.
I love it.
I think the whole fucking school thing is crazy. The fact, and this pandemic might have taught us some of this. Why can't the teacher say, hey, here's what you're responsible for this week? She can teach her lessons, do whatever. But if you get your shit done and you want to have 2 days off a week, why not? It's fucking crazy.
Well, yeah,
this gets back to the super teams. If you're a really smart kid and you can get way ahead, you should have more breaks built in to pursue other things you like and do cool stuff.
But also, if you have to fake sick or make up a cool story, your teacher, you don't know it at the time, but you're learning some street smart, some street savvy.
Now that's true.
shit. You know what I mean?
Okay, I'm with you on this.
You got to make it an obstacle, I think. You know what I mean? You can't just give everybody everything.
Yeah.
You know, you can't just hand everything to everybody. Sometimes you got to earn it.
You're saying you're learning to grease the deal.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, see, that I like.
Yeah. Like, we had this kid.
But that's after you've used your 10 mental health days, and you're like, fuck.
This kid, he was in my grade, but he failed into my grade. And but he was awesome. Like, he did it in high school too. Like, he was like a freshman twice, pretty much. But he was hilarious. And so I had this when I was like I think I was like a sophomore or junior, but I had this like science class with him. I think it was just called science because I was like I didn't care about science, so I was like I'm not AP and that bullshit, you know.
Right.
But he would come in. He would just like show up half hour late to class every now and then, and he would have notes signed by the janitor, and it would be like Gary's late, sorry about that. And it'd be like Janitor Johnson or
a respected authority figure.
He didn't even have the wherewithal to forge notes from like, you know.
There's something so specific in that line, though, that I kind of like.
But I'm not so sure that he wasn't like smoking dope with the janitor, and the janitor actually wrote him a note. Like I'm not.
The janitor's like, for my best customer.
Yeah, to this day, I'm not sure if he may not have forged those. But either way, I was like, but we had with like the science teacher we had. His name was Mr. Studebaker, and he was like the coolest fucking dude ever. Because he knew that like we're all juniors taking science.
Yeah.
They're just called science, so he knew what he was doing. He knew he wasn't reaching the key. You're not going to reach these keys. So he just like had fun. And he was just like, he's like, that's a pretty good note, Gary.
Yeah.
And he never like wrote him up or anything. He was
not
just like,
to burn you out. Let you get as far as you're willing to go. Not to grind you down.
Yeah.
Right? Not to rise and grind you out of school into a GED. That's fucking smart.
Yeah.
I'm for that. Yeah. No, I remember because I've seen people try like some elaborate bullshit.
Yeah.
To get. I had a friend once who tried to make a fucking like spray shit mix.
Yeah.
So he's like, at lunch he was gathering like he's like the fucking buttery noodles with like beef in it.
Oh,
and he's like, this kind of looks right. And he put a little chocolate milk in it. It was like stirring it up. And he's like, if I throw this as hard as I can.
It was like chocolate milk stroganoff.
Yeah, like splatter it hard on the toilet.
Yeah.
I can call the office and be like, whoa, you'll never believe what I did. And they're just like, clean that up, you idiot. What are you thinking? Like, he tried it like a lab. I remember once my brother like chewed up apple parts. He has like a lot of weird apple stories, and he like spit up some apple in the toilet, and he's like, "See, I'm sick." My mom's like, "Did you just spit an apple in the toilet?" "No, I'm sick." "Get your ass on the bus." So yeah, I mean, those are kids that needed to learn a lesson. This we're not good.
I used to try like the ET thing. You know, where you like
the getting hot.
Yeah, where you like hold the thermometer up to the light and shit.
Yeah. I would just always do the like the little fake cough. Couldn't talk.
Like the Billy Madison where he just like runs around his room, dunking the basketball, and then does his temperature. I swear to God, I'm sick. I can't go to school.
Yeah, I don't. I think it's fucking insane that kids have to go to that length.
Yeah.
Because I was telling my wife the other day, like WrestleMania was last weekend, and my kid's like sad because on night 2 of WrestleMania, he's like can't stay up till 11. He's like, I got to go to bed.
Yeah.
And I was like, Amy, it's fucking stupid that our son has to go to school the day after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I was telling her, I was like, we as parents
I agree.
need to tell that school, hey, it was WrestleMania last night. Hunter won't be in today.
And that's on you to teach Hunter how to make up a sweet excuse.
Yeah.
To talk to his teacher
now
about.
In school, you can't miss any days or you have to go into COVID protocols. So like to miss a day would have been like 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah. Because like we called in sick once with Hunter. We're like, yeah, he's got like a stomach thing. He's like, got stomach issues, and they're like, well, we'll see him in 2 weeks. Get a doctor's note. And I was like, wait, what? No, he's pooping. He's pooping.
Yeah, it's
We're like, well, COVID poops. Like, I was like, no. But yeah, so because I told her that too. I like threw a fit because I had to wait till fucking 3 p.m. to watch Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah.
And I was like, Amy, this is tyranny.
Yeah.
I was like, we take a day off for fucking Christmas. Why aren't we taking the day off for Godzilla Kong?
Yeah.
So I'm all for kids having like cool day passes.
Yeah.
Right? They shouldn't have to fake fucking
I did
sicknesses
one
and all this.
time, and I had it was one of my first jobs in my adult life. 2 things actually. One time I had we had like we had to be there at 6 a.m. the next day, and I got drunk until 5 a.m. in my apartment with Chucky, and so I was hammered. And so instead of calling in, I brushed my teeth like 3 times to get like all of the fucking booze smell. I didn't take a shower. I just put on like, whatever my work clothes were. And I just like, I went in there because like I had like red face already and everything. And I was kind of stumbling and I was just like, and I went into work. And my boss like came up and he's like, "Man, you look like shit." He's like, "You got to go home." And I was like, "No, I can do this."
Yeah, I'm the company man,
pretending that I was gonna tough it out. And he's like, "No." He's like, "It's not that important." He's like, "Go home and get some rest. Like, we got it." And I was like, "Okay, but I can stay if you need." And he's like,
right. I really
just playing it off like I'm Lou Gehrig over here. Like, no. I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
There are moments where I don't know why we do that. Because I did that once. I was getting hammered with my softball team. And I just like instinctively drunk. Shouldn't have been driving in LA.
Yeah.
I just drove and parked in front of my buddy's house who I carpool with. So I got there like he thinks I must have got there based on like the 100 text I sent him. Like, "Don't let me miss work tomorrow. I'm really drunk." And I was calling him a bunch, I guess. So he's like, "I think you parked your car out in front of my house at like 4:35. We left at 5:15. So they see my car like kind of parked by their house. They bang on the window. I'm in there in my softball. And they rolled me into their car and took me to work. I worked on the TV show Wipeout, which is like a hazardous construction area. They walked me up, and like I just threw on shit over my softball clothes because I couldn't like stand enough. I peed like out in the obstacle course, and they just enough like propped me up by the donut table so like they could be like, "Yeah, hey," my boss or whatever, like, "Yeah, Griff rode in with us this morning." They pointed to me. And like Weekend at Bernie's. And then my job was foaming, right? We worked in the art department. So they'd bring us these big metal wooden, obstacles, and we would cover them in foam so no one dies.
Yeah.
So we had this trailer full of all these packs of foam. So they fucking literally threw me in the back of a shipping container and fucking buried me in foam. And I woke up at like 4:30. And I was like, "Where the fuck am I?" And I walked out and I was just like, "Oh shit, I'm at work." And they told me the whole thing later. They're like, "Yeah, we totally just brought you to work."
Fucking awesome friends,
I know.
though, dude.
It was unbelievable. So I was like, "Why didn't you just leave me?" And they're like, "Well, you said you wanted to go to work." And I was like, "You guys are the best, bros."
Trying to get paid. That's a great friend.
Hey, there you go.
That is a great friend.
Just a little bit richer. And all I did was so we got off work and I'm like, "Well, I've only been awake for like an hour." I was like, "Do you guys want to hit the bar?" So I bought dinner at the bar.
You're like, "Well, I got paid today, so dinner's on me."
Yeah, I was like, "This is all good with me." But yeah, I was just like, all right. But I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That they thought that was more valuable than just telling my boss I got too hammered to come to work. It was Wednesday.
That's pretty baller-ass friends, if you ask me. I love them.
But see, that was the problem because it set us up then. So we used to have like foam obstacle hiding places. So we like nestled in like rats. Where we'd have like little foam beds everywhere so everyone could sleep.
Yeah.
Like, it was fucking... Because, we had everyone out there. I remember this guy I worked with, Louis. Mm-hmm. We called it his Clamato dungeon. Because he would fucking hide. He's like, he's like, "Hey, man, I need 10. And I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Clamato." And I was like, "Okay." And he just had this little obstacle he'd hide in. It would look like a honey pot, like Winnie the Pooh's honey pot. And he'd climb in there, and he always had like a 12-pack of Clamatos. And he'd go sit quietly and chug a Clamato.
Smash
and then he'd come back out ready to work, like a Budweiser Clamato.
We did that one time. Speaking of being a bad friend, or a good friend, but I'm a bad friend. I was bartending one time, and the dude I was bartending with, because we closed at 3 a.m., and like at 1 a.m., I just couldn't find him. I was like, "Where the fuck did he go?" So I have to go get a bottle of liquor in the office, and I go back there, and he's just passed out on the chair in the office because he got hammered. And he just passed out. And so like I finished up working. I closed the entire bar by myself or whatever. I had to like carry him to my car, and I drove him home and just like left him on his doorstep. And I was like, he'll figure out how to get in. And so I saw him like a couple days later, and he was like, "Dude, I'm sorry." And I was like, "It's all right." I was like, "But I am going to tag you back on this. I don't know when, but one day, like I'm going to do, like you're just going to, like, we're going to be busy, and I'm just not going to work, and you're going to be giving me half the money." And he's like, "That's fine." And sure enough, like 4 months later, one day there was this girl in there like kind of flirting with me, and I was flirting with her. And she was like, "Can I buy you a shot?" And I was like, "How about we do like 10 shots together?" And she's like, "Okay." And I was like, "Hey, Will, have fun the rest of the night."
I've got a girl to ghost.
Yeah. That's exactly what I did. He was pouring a drink at the time. He's like, God damn it.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
I feel like at bars, it's just like built in.
Yeah, kind of.
Like we all have this character.
That was a long
flaw.
time ago, but man, that's like one of my favorite memories from that. Yeah, it was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, the worst.
But yeah, I'm for making up excuses to call into school.
I'm for
or
you
work
should be able to take off anytime at anything.
I don't know. I appreciate the creativity of it.
I concede that argument, but I think we can find creativity.
I think if you
ways.
really are sick, then lie and exaggerate it. Like if you wake up with like a head cold and you're like, you got a little bit of a fever, you're like, yeah, I'm not gonna make it today, but I'll be fine tomorrow. That's what you're thinking. Be like, I'm out for 3 days.
Yeah.
Be like, boss, this could be. Ugh.
But see, I think you hit the point.
This is feeling like
if you're really sick, go to work so they can see it.
Yeah.
And then be like, but I'm a soldier.
Yeah.
And then they'll give you the extra.
That's true.
See, that's like, you got to learn these
Well,
angles.
then the next time you want to fake it and you call in, you're like, I never call in.
I would never.
And they're like, that checks out. He never does.
He sneezed all over accounting that day. This guy's serious. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So what do we have?
Skip it all.
We had
ghosting
for early rising
against the people,
against the concept,
against the people.
We had little league super teams
for.
I guess I'm for them, but not adult super teams. I'm against those.
And then faking sick to skip school.
Golden 4. Yeah.
You know what the worst was? I did that in college once. I've never forgiven myself. I used the death of my aunt.
Yeah.
In real life. Like, did you ever do that?
Oh, yeah. Well,
like, I sent her.
I didn't do like a person I loved. I did it as like a.
Oh, I wrote like a whole. I wrote like a 3-page email where it was like horrible details about the fiery, horrible death of my aunt. And I was like, the saddest part was my cousin's the one who found her. Like, I added all these like horrible details.
You just wrote a horror story.
Yeah, and then the next time I saw her, I was like, oh God, I forgot that I did. Because like I was afraid it was gonna like.
Chucky one time in college, Miller. Chucky he missed like a final or a midterm or something, and so he wrote he made an email account that was his dad's name. And he emailed his professor from his fake dad's email account. And was like, my son was in a car accident. And he'll be back in class. And Miller went to Goodwill and found a pair of crutches and a boot at like another one. So he put the boot on and the crutches, and he went to only that class in a boot and crutches. And the professor was like, it's fine. He's like, you can take the test tomorrow. And Miller was like, no, I'll be at class already. He's like, take 2 weeks. He's like, you got a broken leg. And Miller would Chucky would go to that class, just that class, and then he would leave it, put his crutches in the boot back, and then they could go to other classes or play volleyball.
I can't believe he could keep that straight. Which class it was?
Yeah. It was impressive as hell. It was amazing.
He is a man of many talents when he commits.
All right, guys. Hey, we're back. I'm still a little injured, and we'll have some videos soon. CoachCamMurphy.com for all the gear /shop. And
hit us with your 4 against.
Leave them in the comments. Bye. Bye.